What's up, everybody? On today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast, we gonna drop some spoilers on you for the Infinity War movie that we've been waiting on for so long. It finally got here and all kinds of stuff happened. And Jay and I have every emotion to portray.
Every single one.
Yep. So if you haven't seen the movie, turn it off if you don't want to hear spoilers. Have seen the movie, keep it on. And yell at your phone, yell at your headphones, yell at your car speakers, whatever you want to talk about to us as we review and look back on our first viewing of Infinity War, the Avengers movie that broke all our hearts. On today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast.
In time, you will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
All right, what's up? Welcome back to episode 88.
88.
Dang, 88 of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast. I'm Jared.
I'm Jay.
And we back and at it again. And yeah, Jay, I mean, first of all, before we get to this, how was your week?
Trying to think. I think it was a little bit of anxiousness going into this movie, knowing I bought my tickets early. Mm-hmm. And I just had a whole bunch of trying to stay off the internet, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Trying to stay off social media, even though, you know, some people were kind of sort of spoiling it, saying we weren't ready. And I don't think we were ready. But yeah, that was pretty much it, man. I wasn't busy at work for one. That's cool. I actually pretty much just watch movies at work, which is pretty bad. But yeah, man, it was an okay week. I'm just still thinking about this movie, but yeah, it was all right. How about you?
Man, I tell you, whoa, that's a crazy voice, man. I tell you what, man, this work week was sort of crazy. Just random stuff going on at work, and then I saw your brother, my cousin Poochie. Which is what we all call him by his nickname. Anyway, he and one of his coworkers flew into town because they're going to be working in Nevada or I don't know, somewhere, nearby for the next couple weeks. So they flew into town. He hit me up. I went and met him for lunch. He had an interesting time at the airport, and he noted that the drivers here are terrible because people were cutting him off and weren't letting him in when he was trying to get over. So hey, it's not just me, all you Utahns out there. It's not just me who's dogging y'all. It's every other person who comes into this state from another state has the same sentiment. A lot of people I know, same thing. Anyway, but yeah,
Texas drivers are bad.
I'm telling you, man. Anyway, no, but it was cool to see him for a couple hours, hang out for a minute, and then sent them on their way, obviously. But yeah, other than that, dude, just anticipation, man. Anticipation. You know, that's that song that 27 Savage is bringing out on his new EP that's coming out one day.
Really? Anticipation.
27 Savage, Like a Head of Cabbage, coming soon to iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and DatPiff. Anyway, so yeah, saw the movie and the whole theater was aghast. So yes, indeed. So we might as well go ahead and get into this. So like we said in the intro, spoiler alert, go ahead dropping that on all of y'all fools. So if you like to hear spoilers, just go ahead and listen. If you don't want to hear spoilers, turn us off, stop right now, go watch the movie, then turn us back on your way home as you're walking out of the theater after you see that last end credit scene. Man, I'm telling you, man, it It was insane. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this Avengers Infinity War Part 1. Wow.
Part 1. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So, as I was saying, my anticipation of the film, and I guess everybody's anticipation of the film this week was, it was palpable. Like, I have several coworkers, who I knew that were going to be watching it this weekend. I have one that I know of for sure actually bumped up her tickets, or she got a second set of tickets for her and her husband so they could go a day early. Some other coworkers that I chatted with about it, we're all, everybody has their own opinions. And I actually made a prediction to one of my coworkers, a couple days before we saw the movie, and I was like, "Hey, we haven't seen." And we were talking about people we thought were going to die in the movie, right? Because that's what everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
And there was the general, everybody was like, Iron Man or Captain America or blah blah blah. But then I was like, who haven't we seen in a long time? I was like, man, we haven't seen Nick Fury in a long time. You know what? I bet Nick Fury gonna come back. And he gonna die, and he gonna get like one last motherfucker out there, because it's Samuel L. Jackson, right? And so I made that preview, or that prediction going in, and then of course couldn't wait to see it. And then when I got to the theater, man, this theater was lit. It was packed. Number one, it was an IMAX.
Yeah,
I was sitting.
Oh, okay.
I was sitting on like the fifth row, just to the right, off center. But I still had awesome seating situation.
It was like fifth row from the screen or fifth row?
Essentially fifth row from the screen, because they had like 3 rows. They had like 3 rows down, like right in the front. You know what I'm saying? Like right deep in the front. And then they had like the handicap row and the stadium seating, and then I was like on the row right behind that. So it didn't hurt your neck. Nah, and it was actually pushed back far enough. Even with the IMAX, it was actually pushed back far enough where it didn't feel like you were right up under the screen. Because I've done that before. That sucks. But man, in the theater, like it was wild, because I went at 10:55 at night, right on opening night, and or I guess that Thursday, and it's 10:55. It's a weekday. School day, school night. Why do I see kids there, age ranging from like 1 to like 10 or 11? I don't know, man. But people bring their kids out there. Sometimes it's too late, people. Sometimes it just be too late, and you just need to wait until Friday or Saturday. If you got them little kids and you ain't got nothing else to do with them, bring them on the weekend during the day. Don't bring them late at night. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't trying to be there. They're trying to be asleep.
Yeah.
Especially since, the thing was going to end at like 2:30 at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they had to go to school the next day. I hope you people weren't mad at your kids the next morning when they were trying to get dressed and they were too sleepy to get dressed and get their breakfast before they get to school. You better not have been mad at them. Anyway, the whole theater, every preview that popped up, everything that happened pre-movie, everybody was just yelling and screaming and clapping and excited. Like everybody was on the edge of their seat. How about you, man? What was your weekend in movies?
Well, my theater wasn't that lit, but going back to what you said earlier about the predictions, a coworker of mine and I were talking about it at work, and we were like, who's gonna get it? And then we were like, okay, some people are coming to the end of their contract, like Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., even Chris Hemsworth, they're all coming to the end of their contracts for this. So we were like, maybe they're gonna get it. Maybe there's a good way to send them out. But it's like, I don't know. It's just too. We just don't know. We couldn't figure it out. Then I was like, maybe Hawkeye gets it. But then I remember, was Hawkeye even in there in the previews? And I couldn't remember. But we were trying to go through our heads and figure out who could actually get the X. And so we just say, all right, we'll just figure it out whenever we watch the movie. We'll see who gets it. But yeah, man, in our theater, I got there maybe an hour early because it was open seating. It wasn't reserved seating at the when I booked my ticket online. but I got there an hour early, and there were maybe like 5 people in the theater at the time.
Oh wow!
I was like, okay,
and they let you in that. They let you in that early.
Yeah, they let me in early. I walked in the theater, and there was like this big photography booth setups, and they had a whole bunch of people in cosplay doing photography and stuff. You know, and go take pictures with them, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I walked in there. You know, about 30 minutes from.
Wait.
What's
you
up?
said a bunch of people was in cosplay. Was Jessica Negri there?
No, she was not.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
carry on.
There was yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, she may as well could have been, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, so I walk up in there, you know, got my seat right in the middle, smack dab in the middle.
Dope.
So I made sure I had good viewing. You know, then, you know, of course, everybody started to show up. You know, and it got fairly packed except for those first 4 rows directly in front of the screen, which was pretty sad, man. Because there was people looking for seats at the top and they couldn't find any, and I'm just looking at the bottom and I'm like pointing. It's like 4 empty rows in the front of the theater. But
you was being an usher, right?
Yeah, I could totally understand why they don't want to sit up there, because this is a pretty big screen and you end up hurting your neck trying to find that, trying to look up at the movie. But yeah, there were no applauses or yells or anything like that. It was pretty much dead.
Really?
You know, at the end of it was pretty much dead silence, like throughout the previews. Throughout the movies, of course, there was like some laughs and chuckles and, you know, some gasp at certain points. But, you know, overall, my theater was pretty tame.
Man.
I mean, if you could see the expression on my face towards the end, towards certain parts of the movie, it could have been like priceless. I was just looking around and like, people, are y'all seeing this?
Yeah.
It's really happening? So.
That's wild, man. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I'm sort of surprised. I'm sort of surprised that you didn't get, you didn't get more of that. Just because, I mean, you know, it's some of these movies like Star Wars that come out, you know, with the previous Avengers, you know, films and Black Panther, like, you know, a lot of times we've gotten, you know, a lot of like crazy reactions, you know what I'm saying, to
well, you know,
pre-movie.
I actually noticed that whenever going to a late night movie, more reaction from the crowd than like going into like a midday movie, which is, I don't know why. I mean, maybe it was because it was opening night. Everybody was so pumped for it when you went to see it. I don't know. Maybe so. Could just, I don't know. I just noticed like the difference in the crowds, you know, from, I guess, times a day that it happens. But, you know, I mean, I'm sure everybody was just as excited and baffled and bewildered.
They're just more chill.
Yeah.
What time of day did you see it again?
11:40.
Oh, you know, maybe that was it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that was it. Maybe it's too early. You know, they just barely had their brunch. You know, belly's a little full. They're just trying to like sit there and rest for a hot minute, you know, before the movie started. So maybe that was the deal.
Yeah, man. I felt kind of bad at one point too, because it's like I had an empty seat on the side of me, on both sides of me. And then this dad and his kid came in and it's like, is that seat taken? I was like, no, nobody's sitting here. But then the seat next to it was taken. And he's like, is that seat taken over there? I'm like, nope. And I was like, well, I guess I could move over. But then I just didn't say anything. I just wanted my privacy.
Man, I'm telling you, yeah.
But eventually the lady sitting further, a little ways down, moved over a seat. So him and his son like sat right next to me. I was like, crap.
He was probably looking at you the whole time like, you should have moved over from me, my son.
Well, it's actually a black dude, so I could have did it.
That's probably what he sounded like anyway, on the inside.
It's possible. Then he sounded like he started snoring in the middle of the movie.
Nah.
Like, okay, I know this dude ain't sleeping.
Nah. I'd have elbowed him. Straight up. I'd have elbowed him.
Yeah.
I would have. Anyway, okay. Wow. All right, cool. So anticipation, pre-film, got to that, theater, movie starts. Did you get any spoilers leading into it? Did anybody drop other than saying you're gonna be sad or you're gonna be shocked? Did you get any spoilers?
No. The only thing I saw was someone on YouTube posting right when they left the theater, and they were just a little confused about what happened. They did not expect that to be happening.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah.
So, and then I saw like a couple reviews on Twitter. Not really reviews, but just like initial reactions.
Yeah.
And they were like, "You're not ready. No one's ready. I wasn't ready for this."
Yeah. And I tried to I stayed away from all those, thankfully. But you know what? Like a couple, just about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. 2 hours before I went to see the movie, B-Rob group texted me and Chuck from the Whatever Man podcast, and you know we had we'd actually done our combo pop up review of Black Panther, you know, between the three of us, and so B-Rob from Random Rambles with Rob podcast, you know, was just like, you know, just trying to drop some stuff on us and saying, you know, you're not ready. I can't believe this stuff to happen. People out here crying and all this stuff. I was like, shut up. It's like, stop it. He's like, but I'm not telling you anything. And I was like, man, you know. And then he was like, let me see if there's some post credit scenes. Okay, there's at least one post credit scene. I was like, shut up. But you know what? He didn't spoil
totally
anything.
Spoil it for you. Yeah.
He did say that there was one post credit scene which I wasn't happy about, just because you know you just want to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to know for yourself. You don't want anybody else to tell you. But whatever. It wasn't a true spoiler. But then he was like saying everybody was crying, and you know we'd all figured that this would happen and that somebody would die, and then also we all would sort of figure that. You know, we all sort of figured that, you know, if you'd read the comics, you know that somebody's going to get it. You know what I'm saying? You know somebody's going to die.
But then at the same time, you had a whole bunch more heroes in the comics. So
yeah, you had so many.
At this point now in the whole MCU, I'm not even worried about even trying to educate myself with other comic books, because it never really ends up how the comic ends up.
Yeah,
so
this is true. This is true. Even though they did make a lot of good references to the comics. So, you know, when the movie started, there was a, you know, sort of started with Doctor Strange. He and his companion, I can't remember his name right now. What's his name? This is basically.
Actually, you could actually go before that. Whenever Thor and
before
Loki
that
was captured.
Yeah. So I mean, at the beginning there, you know, it showed you know the ship that Thor and Hulk and all the rest of the Asgardians were on, you know, as they left Thor Ragnarok at the end of that movie. You know, it started on that was destroyed. Man, right out the gate, my nigga Heimdall died. Dang.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, bro.
That made me sad right off. I was like, man, they got to kill these fools already. They just trying to get us ready for what's about to happen. Yeah. And the first one to die. I mean, everybody else was already dead. But, you know, the first one that we see die was the brother, man. I was like, come on, man. Why you got to do him like that? Because he did Dark Tower? Is that why they had to do him like that?
Possibly.
Jacked up, dog.
That could have been why. Yeah, but... Wow, I just thought it was interesting how Hulk got his tail handed to him.
Oh yeah,
Thanos. He thought he was doing something, but Thanos laid that combo, that Street Fighter combo on him. Afterwards. So yeah, and I think that could be a reason why Banner couldn't change into Hulk later. Yeah, because Hulk was probably scared.
Oh dang.
Hulk never had that type of beating before. Yeah,
you know, the problem with what you just said was Hulk thought he thought that he could beat him. He got destroyed. And it was interesting because the way that Thanos beat up Hulk in this one was sort of akin to the first Avengers when Hulk was grabbing Loki by his cape and was whipping him back and forth and smashed him in the ground. It was similar akin to that. And then they also had a line call out, which was also in that first Avengers, when Loki basically told Thanos, in this one, you know why? And Thanos says, why? Because we have a Hulk, which is a line call out from the first Avengers. And then Hulk shows up and he got a couple good licks in, and Thanos was just like, all right, it's just like you just hit me with, butterflies and feathers. You know what I'm saying? And he beat him down. And then, then they killed Loki, which was
snapped his neck, just choked him,
straight squished his neck. But Loki saved his brother just before that. He saved Thor from excruciating, painful death at the hands of the Power Stone. So, yeah, man. So shout out to Loki for having like one bit of conscience,
a little bit,
in doing that. But then we get to Earth. They start in Doctor Strange's house with Wong, and they're discussing food. They're discussing what they're going to have for lunch or dinner or something like that, which is interesting because in the Infinity Gauntlet comic series, way back in the day that Marvel wrote, it sort of starts the same way. Doctor Strange is in his house talking to Wong. They're eating food, something like that, in there, and then when what we see in the beginning of the movie, just before Heimdall dies, he sends Hulk off, like on that galactic, what do they call it? Like the intergalactic rainbow highway or whatever they call it that they had from Ragnarok.
Right.
He sends him off toward Earth. And in a couple of scenes, it looks like he's sort of like flying through this space, sort of like Silver Surfer. Well, lo and behold, at the beginning of the actual comic series, Silver Surfer was flying through space, looked like they just like took a shot from the comic and put it on screen, but without zooming in on who actually was flying through. And then he crashed through the ceiling, the window of Doctor Strange's house. And Doctor Strange was like, what was that? Him and Wong ran up to find out what that was. And the same thing happened in this one, except for this was Hulk, who flew in, crashed through the window, and they're like, what was that? Then they went and saw Hulk. So I thought that was cool. It was a direct connection, even though it was different characters, because at that time they weren't able to use Silver Surfer. I thought it was cool that they actually put him in there. Yeah, it was dope. So, yeah, man. So, wow. I mean, that's just a lot packed at the beginning. We already had 2 people die, that we'd known and loved for a long time.
Right.
And so, I mean, I don't think the nigga Loki coming back. I don't think Heimdall coming back. I think they done.
Yeah, they done. Ain't no coming back from that. No coming back from that. And then,
no coming back.
What was that? Of course, we see Spider-Man. His Spidey senses kick in, and well, no. Let's rewind that, because what is his name? Doctor Strange actually transcended or teleported to where Tony Stark and Pepper Potts were like exercising or something, and then said that they have a Hulk, or Bruce Banner was there. So yeah, then all that transpired, and then all of a sudden things start happening outside. See Peter Parker do his thing, and everybody, those 4 or 5 actually kind of came together and started. And then we saw the, I guess, appearance of Thanos's crew.
Yeah, the Children of Thanos.
Children of Thanos.
What did you think of? What did you think of? Well, I can't remember the first kid's name. What was his name? Let's see here. We had, was it Ebony Maw or Corvus Glaive? I can't remember. Whichever the first guy was who was walking around saying, "You should all be thankful that you will be dying at the hands of Thanos. You should be happy for your freedom."
Yeah, right.
I can't remember who it was, but I was like, man, I ain't happy. I see you out here killing people. How am I gonna be happy about that?
For real,
you know?
right?
What did you think about the children of Thanos? Like, did you know much about them from the comics?
Nah, I never knew anything about them. I mean, I didn't know anything about them. I initially thought they were, I guess they were kind of, I don't know, I guess they're just soldiers following orders, you know? Mm-hmm. The one big guy, I thought he was going to get into it I thought him and Hulk would have had some kind of little battle, but that's when Banner couldn't change back into Hulk.
Yeah, he was struggling.
Yeah, he was struggling a lot, and then I guess all he heard was Hulk come out. No! So,
wow.
Yeah, Hulk was scared. He didn't want to catch that fade again.
Yeah. So when you saw Proxima Midnight, did you want to hit? Like, you thought she was hot or what?
Yeah, I guess we put a bag over.
She was bugly.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I don't know. They was just they were crazy. Oh yeah, Ebony Maw. That was homeboy's name. Who's out there walking around saying, "You should all be happy. Your death. You will be, dying for something good. You should, the people of your planet will thank you for dying for them." Nah, man, I hated that dude. Like, and eventually,
I thought it was cool. Just to go back, I thought it was cool that they got Stan Lee and another as the bus driver of the school bus. Because Stan's health is not the greatest at this moment, so I know he's trying to get into as much stuff as he can.
Yeah.
Leave that legacy behind.
Yeah, it's pretty dope, and I think. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I read maybe somewhere around Age of Ultron that Stan Lee had basically filmed like all of his appearances for all of the planned potential Marvel movies and TV shows. I think they said he'd already pre-filmed all of those in whatever situation.
Right.
And they were just going to drop him in. They're going to just drop his scene in or his little portion in wherever they went to.
Yeah, whenever they need.
But
that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. But then, like, dang, like they have a lot of forethought because that was well before Black Panther. That was well before Spider-Man. Yeah. That was well before this one. Where he was the bus driver, and that was right before. When else? I can't remember the other one that came out back then. Maybe Ant-Man. But it's interesting.
But I think the whole movie, though, like all these movies are, they're really well thought out and placed properly because they have to have the forethought, like you were saying, to even think about when Thor lands on the screen on the windshield of the Milano, and that came out. When that was the end credits to Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know, yeah. So how long ago did they shoot that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I wonder how much stuff they actually have.
Yeah, how much of this had been shot a long time ago,
or written at this moment in time.
Yeah, that's dope. And it's wild because some of these things. This is my question. Like, I wonder if they shoot, like a handful of post-credit scene endings, for the future.
Right.
Whenever they do whoever's movie, I wonder if they shoot all these post-credit scene possibilities before they finish writing, before they're finished fully planning out that next movie, just in case. And they're like, okay, this piece of the puzzle will fit great here because this next movie is going to come out, and this is where we're going to tie it in. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, we saw Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet glove all the way back at the end of the first Guardians. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't. Yeah. Is it the first Guardians or was it Avengers?
Trying to think.
No, it wasn't Avengers. I think it was the first Guardian. Because that's when he reached in. That's when he reached.
I guess I got to do it myself.
I got to do it myself.
Like
Yeah. So I wonder who he was waiting on to do that. Number one.
What's his name from the Guardians? Shucks.
Oh,
I can't even remember the guy's name at this moment.
You're talking about Ronan.
Ronan, there you go, Ronan.
So he was waiting on Ronan.
He was waiting on Ronan to get the the first crystal or the first stone.
That's right.
And of course, that didn't happen because he lost in a dance-off.
Yeah. Dance-off. It's dance-off.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Wow. Yeah, man. It's just crazy. It's just crazy just seeing all that go down. The kids show up, and then like the first okay, so obviously we saw Thanos at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when that dude showed up on Earth, it was funny because, Iron Man, Wong, Doctor Strange, they all just sort of like just started fighting him, like just tried to start fighting him just like he was any other, baddie that showed up. But, you soon find out that he is not just any other baddie. And then what's his name? The kids, one of Thanos' kids, is there. Ebony Maw.
Well, they were just called kids. They weren't really his kids.
They're called the children of Thanos. So, and that's another thing they were saying. They were just saying, you will all now be the children of Thanos once you die. They're called the Black Order. That's another name for them. And I don't know if they actually were Thanos' children because
that's what I'm thinking about. Like Gamora and Nebula, they were considered children of Thanos, but of course they were like captured or families died because Thanos, I guess, invaded their planet. Yeah. And just took some of them. But yeah.
And we saw, and I don't know exactly if they're blood related, if Thanos actually, skeeted them kids out, or
I don't think he did. I'm starting to think he doesn't have anything there because all he wants to do is cause death and destruction around the universe.
Yeah, well, he's got to have some big huevos, you know what I'm saying, if he wants to do that.
Yeah, I think man, I don't think so, man, because all this intergalactic stuff he could be getting.
I mean, what if he just has, two balls and no stick, you know what I'm saying?
It's possible.
It's
possible.
He's playing baseball with just the balls and no bats. Like, I don't know. He got a glove. He got 2 gloves, 2 balls, but no baseball bat. I don't know, man. But possible. I mean, Thanos, maybe the dude that all them Instagram models is looking for, a thick, almost, sort of like ball sack, bearded,
scrotum chin.
Yeah, swole, deep voiced, bald headed, dark complected, long dick nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's what it wants. Or maybe it just has 2 balls and that's it. I don't know, man, but when that dude showed up, man, I'd have been pissing my pants. I'd have been one of the many people going, "Run, it's Godzilla!" Ah, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sad that New York catches it all the time. Poor New York.
Poor New York, man. New York, New Jersey, like they all just taking the brunt of it all. And that's sort of the thing, we already know, like in the history of comic books between DC and the Marvel franchise, they love that New York, that Gotham, that Manhattan, like all that whole area. And I guess that's a factor of, where I guess Stan Lee was from, on that side. So it sort of is what it is, man. But yeah, they always catch it. And then like the whole time, I'm sure people in Kansas be like, "Oh man, I'm glad I ain't in New York." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Yeah, nobody in the middle America never catches anything big.
Like, what is happening in like Jackson Hole, Wyoming, when all this is going down? Are they just like sitting there, eating elk burgers? You know what I'm saying? And like dancing on the mountains and the hills. What's going on there?
We do not know.
Like in Arizona, you know what I'm saying? People just out there, getting like crispy burnt suntans, enjoying some cactus margaritas.
Yep, and people in LA are just chilling too. Yeah, because nobody catches it in LA.
Yeah, until they get some West Coast Avengers. Anyway, so wow, yeah, man. So still so much to unpack. So So overall, I don't even know. As we start getting into the film, we learn that Thanos is trying to, grab all the rest of the stones. I think he started the film with what? The blue one? No, he didn't start with the blue. He started with the purple one, which was the Power Stone. And he started with the Mind Stone? The red one?
No.
I don't know. The yellow one? No, that was from Vision Head. I know he started with at least one stone.
Yeah, he had one. And then he got the one from the Tesseract.
Mm-hmm. That's the next one. So that's what he started with. Yeah, so the Tesseract, which is what, the power or the space stone?
Maybe it's...
I think it's space. Space.
I can't remember.
I think it's space because the purple one was the power stone.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. And so, we still don't know where the Soul Stone is. We haven't seen that one. We still haven't seen
Wait a minute. Wait. Let's rewind this.
Oh, wait.
Okay, because now I'm getting confused. So the one that they got in Guardians of the Galaxy, that was... Which one was that? That was the Power Stone? Was it?
I think
Which
so.
One was that?
I'm pretty sure. Let's see here.
But then I'm trying to go back into my memory. How did they get it? Because didn't the people of that world store it away?
Yes. So that's one thing that we didn't know. Because remember, Peter, what's his name? Peter Quill. He kept it. Didn't he keep it at the end inside that ball? Because Yondu thought he had it. Yeah, Yondu thought he had it at the end of the movie. And then, Quill had just given him like an empty ball with a troll doll in it. Trolled him, right?
But then Peter Quill gave it to the...
He gave it to the people of Xandar. And Thanos came in and said, I slaughtered Xandar during this movie. Okay. So that's how he got that stone, which the purple stone, what is it? The Power Stone. Yeah, there you go. So that's how he got that. So that happened sometime, between
movies.
Yeah, between movies. That was stuff that we just needed to know, and they wasn't going to show us that on film. So that happened. Then he took the Tesseract right at the beginning from Loki. And then while he came to Earth, I guess that's when his children came to Earth because they were in search of the Time Stone, which Doctor Strange had. Oh, and so when all this goes down, we see Peter Parker come out the bus. You know what I'm saying? His, he jumped out of the bus, turned into Spider-Man, and swung into action. And he was looking dope. You know what I'm saying? He was smooth, came in, in childlike fashion. Was just helping out. And then eventually, he swung up and got stuck on Thanos's floating donut that started to fly back back to outer space. And after Iron Man, obviously noted that he was there. He was like, "Hey, kid,
But how cool was it that he told Peter Parker to let go because Peter still had his old suit on, and then that's when he got the Iron Spider suit.
Ooh, that was
just floated up to him and grabbed him. So that was kind of cool.
That was dope. Really cool. What did you think of the Iron Spider suit? Like, is it everything that you imagine? Is it comic book accurate? I can't remember.
Yes and no. I mean, as far as colors and stuff, somewhat, kinda, but I can't remember everything that it did. I'm pretty sure there's some stuff we didn't even see that it can do.
I mean,
of course, the Iron Spider legs coming out the back, that's accurate.
That was dope. Oh, but you know what? I think I guess you're right, because in some of the comics, it does have that red, black, and blue, and gold look, and then some of the comics, it's just straight gold and red, if I'm correct. So, yeah, but it was dope to finally see that. Let me tell you, when that Iron Spider suit showed up, my whole theater was like, yeah! You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like nerdgasmed all over the place, man. I had to make sure I didn't, spill over into anybody's seat because it's going to be nasty. But, yeah, man, it was dope to see that, Spider-Man sort of hung on as they were floating away from Earth. And yeah, so then you have Strange, you have Iron Man, and the new Iron Spider, you know, on that ship floating into outer space. Mm-hmm. And, you know, this whole time, I'm like, okay, when's Adam Warlock going to show up? When are we going to see Adam Warlock? Because, you know, they had a call out to that at the end of Guardians 2.
You know what? Probably in part 2.
That's what I'm thinking. Obviously, we hadn't seen Adam yet in this film, and we didn't see him at all in this film. So yeah, man. Shoot. More and more people start to show up. So like, as people start to show up, who are you happy to see? Who are you surprised to see? You know, like,
let me see.
Who did you wish you could have seen that didn't show up?
Like, I'm glad, of course, that, well, of course the Guardians were back, regardless. Surprised to see a teenage Groot. I like that whole dynamic. Yeah. Even though they showed that at the end of the last Guardians, him growing Defenders. Up. You know, and everybody's getting mad at him for just playing video games the whole time. Which is something, you know, I guess parents do. Get mad at their kids for playing video games the whole time. But kind of glad to see that. I really didn't care as much if Ant-Man showed up or not. You know, it really didn't bother me. Didn't really bother me too much that Hawkeye didn't show up. Oh, yeah? I mean, people kind of dislike Hawkeye. I mean, I think he's all right for being just a guy that shoots arrows. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of mad at people for not liking Hawkeye. Like, everybody wanted Hawkeye to die, and I'm like, and they're like, I don't like Hawkeye. I'm like, what did Hawkeye do to you? It's because he's not, I guess, super. They even have kind of sort of throw Black Widow in that bus too, because she's not really a super meta-human type. I'm like, whatever you want to call them. James Bond in the form of a woman, and like a modern day Robin Hood. Like, what's wrong with that? Yeah, you know. Yeah. And the sidetrack with that, I think they found a director for the Black Widow movie. Oh, good. Which is funny. It's a black woman. Dope. So we should, hopefully that'll be decent. Okay, right, back to the movie. It's not the lady. It's not the lady who did Wrinkle in Time. Is it Ava DuVernay? Ava DuVernay? No. Okay. No. You know what? It's another woman. This is a whole different conversation that could get a whole lot of spinoff, and I'll probably get some hate for it. But I did not like her version of Wrinkle in Time. I liked 70% of it. There was 30% that was still passing great. 70% still passing. But let me tell you, this was 70% with some caveats, because there was 70% of it that was pretty book accurate, and there was 30% that they just threw away and act like it didn't even happen. Like an essential? Was it an essential throwaway? I think it was some essential stuff that they threw away for the book, and I think it was to appease, what's her name, Oprah. They took out some stuff in that movie that was in the book, that took out the more spiritual aspects of the book, which, you know, there's just some accuracy stuff that disappeared because of that, and because we didn't have those certain things that they took away from the movie. You know, like the references to God, and like just like some other things that the character said, that the three what the ladies' names, I can't remember, whatever, that some other stuff that the character said to give the main character Meg her confidence. You know, they took all that stuff out, so then all of a sudden she was just confident. They took a lot of stuff out of that movie, or a lot of stuff away from the book, and didn't add it into the movie. And the last third of that movie was super like mumbled and jumbled, and it was like stuff just happened and the movie was over. And I was like, man, why did you take all this out? There was some essential things that they left out from the book. Let's just say that Ava DuVernay, overall I like you, but with that movie I got a beef with you. So thankfully you're not doing Black Widow, because I know you would be leaving a lot of good stuff out. So back to this movie. Maybe it's in the deleted scenes. Yeah. Come to my mentions, right. Everyone. Come to our mentions. I'm ready. Okay. All right. So where were we?
Okay,
characters that I didn't see coming or did want to. Let's see. Who showed up? I'm trying to think. Dang, my mind's drawing a blank and it's right on the tip of my tongue.
So we saw Cap. He showed up.
We saw
the White Wolf.
Cap, the White Wolf.
Black Panther
Bucky,
and the crew.
Black Panther and crew. Somebody else who showed up. Oh, I can't think of it. Oh, Red Skull.
Red Skull.
I did not expect him to show up.
What? How was he?
I'm trying to think back to the original Captain America movie. Where did he go?
I'm gonna have to go and look at it. I have it. I'm gonna have to check it out and see what the heck happened to him. I know he didn't die. I thought they just like banished. Didn't they banish him to outer space?
I honestly can't even remember. It's been so long since I've seen the first Captain America. Yeah. But did not expect him to show up. He's chilling on a planet all by himself.
Hugo Weaving. Bring it back.
Who else showed up? Of course, you have the Collector. He showed. He was. I guess he was back.
David Tannebaum,
in a sense,
whatever his name is. Benicio del Toro. He's
Benicio del Toro.
Always great. Always great.
Of course, there's a lot of surprising moments when.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of like that flashback when Gamora was a little girl.
Yeah.
And I guess Thanos was trying to be the nice stranger and say, "Hey, here, play with this little knife."
Man,
it's all balanced, not a hair off of balance or anything like that.
Man,
oh, don't look there, little girl.
Right
over here.
Nah, Thanos was definitely like the creepy. Like that creepy random dude walking down the street with candy in his front pocket. You remember when on South Park when Butters was dancing to that song? I've got something in my front pocket for you. Yeah. Why don't you reach down in my pocket and see what it is? Like that was Thanos. He was the something in my front pocket guy.
But it's weird though because when he got to the planet with Red Skull on it. And of course he had to sacrifice something that he loved.
That's where the Soul Stone was.
Yep. Yeah, for the Soul Stone.
Dang.
I guess he had a genuine love for Gamora as a daughterly love, He
was the favorite daughter. She was the favorite daughter, my bad.
Yeah.
And what's so funny, man? Like just yesterday, so shout out to Mrs. Jared. She and I went on a marriage retreat with our church this weekend, and yesterday we met a really fun interesting couple. We're chatting with them for a while, and they're like, you would never say it, but you have a favorite kid, right? And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, man, that's what we think. We would never tell them kids, even though they would say it straight up, who would be our favorite, his favorite and her favorite kid. Like you would never say it, but you always have a favorite kid. I'm like, man, I love both my kids just as equal. Like, what? How could somebody say that? But then, there's always people who, always things that you think about one kid immediately compared to the other kid. And you should say, this is the thing that this person does, this thing that person does. Well, Gamora was Thanos' favorite kid. So,
right.
Even though she betrayed him, and left him, in her quest for the Infinity Stones, he still loved her.
And you could kind of tell that because when we first see Nebula, she's all torn into pieces, or kind of just like suspended in midair, body parts all over the place. And that's because she tried to get on board and kill him, and apparently she almost did. But then when we see Gamora and of course the Guardians inside the Collector's place, and I guess there was that illusion of Thanos there, and Gamora goes and just chops him in the neck, stabs him in the neck. He didn't try to, I guess, torture her or anything. He just brought her on board, and she's just chilling. He's like, hey, I brought you some soup, or I brought you some food to eat. You know, wasn't no torturing or anything.
Yeah,
like
he was
that.
being all nice. He was being really nice to her. That's when you see that Thanos actually does have a heart, which is an interesting, you know, both of those things you talk about are interesting throwbacks to the comic, because in the Infinity Gauntlet series, Thanos is in love with Mistress Death. You know what I'm saying? Death, you know, is like a character. It's a lady, you know, who's, I guess, pretty if you can see her as a human. But then she also appears as a skeleton. And, you know, so she's sort of like the, you know, the ultimate Grim Reaper, if you will, for the galaxy. And he's in love with her, and he tries to show his affection. And that's when, you know, he has this Infinity Gauntlet full of the stones, and, you know, snaps and starts to kill all these people in the, you know, in the comic book series. And you see, oh, wow, this guy has a heart. And he tries to do all kinds of things to please her, to make her just smile, make her say his name. And she never really wants to do it. And one of the things that he does, he's like, this is my creation. And in the comics, they have Nebula as his granddaughter instead of his actual daughter. But like Nebula is like this like, I don't know, like bubbling zombie looking beast in the comic books. And he like stretches her out, like makes all this stuff like, you know, pop off from her body. You know, like he has like this thing where it looks like snakes with eyeballs and mouths as heads, you know, are coming from her body. And he's like, you know, does this please you? And he's like, and he basically says, you know, I've crushed her, broken her bones, you know, basically experimented with her in many different ways, you know, to create this form in front of you. And that's sort of what you saw in this with Nebula suspended in the air, you know, when we see Nebula, and you could like looking straight on, it just looks like she's just sort of sitting there, just frozen in the air, but, you know, she could talk. But then as they, you know, move the angle of the camera to the side of Nebula to a profile view, you can see that he is basically taking her apart in many different ways, her whole body. And that's another callback to one of the other movies that they had. One of the other movies, I think it was The Last Guardians, where Nebula talked about, you know, what happened to her and what her dad did to her by breaking her bones and then putting her back together in many different ways, you know, just to experiment and please himself. So that was an interesting throwback right there. And yeah, we see that he has a heart, you know what I'm saying? He's you know, he loves Gamora, and the way to get the Soul Stone is to give away something that you love, and nobody's been able to do that on all those times. And you see Thanos crying. So it was interesting.
Yeah, shedding a tear.
Yeah, Gamora didn't get it at first. She was like, you know what? You don't love anything. What the heck? What you gonna give away? You ain't gonna get this stone. So good luck, haha. And then, you know, Thanos gave her that daddy look. You know, like, my baby girl.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to kill you now. You know, too bad Gamora can't fly.
Yeah. Oh man, you know, that whole portion, I was like, no, he's not gonna do it.
Man,
that's not gonna happen.
So it's Aldana. She gone, man.
She gone. Saw all that green blood on the rocks and everything.
Threw her down. He shed a daddy tear. It went down like his ball sack chin. It went down one of those little grooves in his ball sack chin.
Wow.
I saw some snot coming up. I'm pretty sure Red Skull gave him a tissue, like off that black cloak that he was floating with.
It's like, here, I don't need these because I don't have a nose.
Exactly right. My nose just constantly runs. I just let it go.
It's just constantly running in this cold weather.
Exactly. So, wow. So, I mean, first of all, I gotta say, I thought the Soul Stone would be in Wakanda, down in the mines of the I can't even say it, vibranium mines.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, but it's on another planet.
Whole another planet. Yeah, because it was kind of funny because I was thinking about it, and they were going into the history of the whole Infinity Stones, and they say they scattered across the universe. I was like, what are the odds that all these are on Earth? I say that can't happen. Yeah, that's not possible.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I guess obviously, it wasn't. It isn't a thing that happened. That was somewhere else. And we already knew that the Power Stone was somewhere else. We already knew that Tesseract was with Loki. But the rest of them, they said there was two on Earth. So the two that they had on Earth, they had which ones. Oh yeah, Vision's forehead.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and then Doctor Strange with the time stone. Mm-hmm. So wow, let's see here. Let me hear I guess one of my most surprising cameos. Man, I would definitely say, Red Skull was definitely one of them. I think that shocked everybody. Everybody in my theater was freaking out. They're like, what? Like that's pretty much what everybody said. Peter Dinklage. Okay.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, showed up, and I think everybody had thought that he was going to be Pip, the magic traveling elf or whatever the heck his name is from the comics, and he actually showed up as Eitri, the Dwarf King, the dwarf.
You said the Dwarf
King, and he made basically made weapons for the gods, if you will, that could destroy gods. Like they make all these like crazy weapons. So he showed up, but he was like a giant midget. Like it was hilarious. So he was a cool show. He was a cool, drop in. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think that was cool. And then I was also happy that Samuel L. Jackson showed up. He showed up in the end credit scene, because the whole time I was like, where's Sam Jackson? Is he going to show up? Where's Sam Jackson? He got to show up, right? Yeah. He showed up right at the end. So that was dope. I was happy to see him. Yeah, man, it's just so much stuff. So much stuff packed into this. What do you think of Rocket's character in this one? Rocket the Raccoon. What do you think of his character and his character arc in this one paired up with Thor?
I found it interesting because I noticed in the last Guardians of the Galaxy, him and Peter Quill were kind of, I don't know, going back and forth, like who's the leader or who's the captain of this ship and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, and I guess as a captain or as a leader, team leader or something, you have to, I guess, give good advice and be the one to count on and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I noticed when Thor was I guess he was all caught up in his feelings, and Rocket was like, I guess I got to be the captain in this one. So he went back there and kind of gave him a little pep talk and said, hey, you really want to do this? Yeah. So I thought it was interesting. I mean, of course, we have to spread out the time throughout all the characters within the movie, so it wasn't like a total focus on Rocket's character, even though I could still see some of that was still there whenever they were battling at the end when Bucky came and had his arm. He's like, hey, what did he say? How much you want for that arm or something like that? Or you want to trade something? Yeah. It's like, I'm going to get that arm. I'm going to get that arm later. So, he was good, man. I liked him. I mean, I want to see a Rocket and Groot. I ain't going to say spinoff because I know there's a Rocket and Groot comic book. Yeah. Or I think is it a Rocket and Groot or is it just a Rocket Raccoon comic?
There's a Rocket one and there's a Groot one.
Okay.
I can't remember. Now I can't remember right off top if they had a combo. I can't remember right off top. But yeah, I forgot. Either way, yeah, it was cool. I thought it was interesting, especially him saying, I'm the captain, being all up in Star-Lord's face. And Star-Lord was
just
really...
like, was that movie, shucks, the one where the Somalian pirates were trying to get on Tom Hanks' boat.
What was that movie?
I cannot think
Captain Phillips. Captain Phillips.
There you go. It's like, no, I am the captain.
Yeah, that was funny. I thought it was funny too how you could see Star-Lord was jealous of Thor when when everybody was talking about his muscles and Gamora was like rubbing his arms like his muscles are cut from the are chiseled from such and such. Yeah, I thought that was funny and then of course Thor started talking and then later on Star-Lord was like Star-Lord was trying to mock him. He's like, "What are you saying?" You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like, "Are you trying to mock him? Are you trying to mock me?" Yeah, I thought that was so funny. He's like, "No, this is the way I talk." That was funny. Oh man, I don't know. It was. I just thought there was they did some amazing writing in this to be able to smash together not only the regular Avengers, line of people, the everybody from the Thor, movie, or the couple people from the Thor movie that they added in, all the Guardians, the Wakandans, all that stuff. Oh yeah, there's a Rocket and Groot Ultimate Collection. There's a Rocket and Groot combo pack set of comics. So sorry about that. Yeah, that just launched like in 2016, so it's not that old. Man, it was so much. And then, as we get into the film, as Captain America shows up along with Falcon, along with Black Widow, and they say Vision and Scarlet Witch. Yeah. They're like, "Where do we go now?" And they're like, "I know a place." And then they go to Wakanda.
Yeah,
man, saw Wakanda again.
Yeah, that was dope. And then they got to, I guess, Shuri was trying to, I guess, diagnose what was going on with Vision and trying to figure out how to get that Infinity Stone out. And I guess just all the technology, and she was like, "Why didn't you just do this, such and such?" And then, and Bruce Banner was like, "I guess we just didn't think about it."
That was so funny, man. Seriously,
that just kind of shows you where where the technology and thought is in Wakanda versus the rest of the world.
So much further advanced. Shuri was so cheeky and funny, and that was hilarious. I was like, well, dang, she should have just been there from day one, and everybody's problem would have been solved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
That was hilarious.
Exactly. It was. I mean, there's so much to digest in this movie, man. That we keep bouncing around. I want to keep bouncing around. It's like I want to talk about things that I think they could have did to like end the movie quick. Yeah. I want to talk about when Peter got all in his feelings when they were trying to get the Infinity Gauntlet off of Thanos' hand. They could have got it, but
Peter Quill,
Peter Quill.
It's like, what happened to Gamora?
Yeah, what's her name? Mantis had Thanos in a sleep-like state, and they were trying to pull the Infinity Gauntlet off his hand, and then all of a sudden, he was trying to figure out where Gamora was, Peter Quill was, and then I guess they figured it out. Hey, she's dead.
Yeah, Mantis. So, the thing about Mantis is, man, she can't really like tell a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like she has to has to be totally transparent and say what happened. And
there's a lot of guilt going on in this.
Yeah, man, a lot of guilt, a lot of sadness, a lot of like anger and vengeance. Like was all there, and they're like, "Don't do it, Peter. Don't do it. Think about the glove." He's like,
"Yep."
He tried, he tried to shoot him.
Punch him in the face a couple times.
Yeah, he punched him in the face.
Man's hands off his head.
Yeah, golly, man.
But here's the thing: I'm gonna just throw it out here since it's in my head. You know how they could have got the Infinity Gauntlet off?
How's that?
So remember towards the beginning of the movie when they were fighting in New York with Doctor Strange, and so Doctor Strange opens up this little portal, right?
Yes.
And then one of the guys jumps through, and then it closes on him, and then bam, chops him in half.
Yeah.
Right? How come he couldn't just do that to where Thanos would be trying to throw a punch with the Infinity Gauntlet? Man. Close up the portal, chop his hand off, bam, end the movie.
I mean, just even in that moment, they didn't even have to wait till they didn't even have to do that. All they had to do, they had his arm extended out there. All Strange had to do was go ahead and open the portal and just push it over his hand, and then walk through the portal so he was there for wherever it fell. Close that sucker up, bam, game over. Thanos' arm off. They beat the sucker. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
But they didn't do that. But they didn't do that.
Understandably why. But
yeah,
I know how it should have ended. The YouTube channel will probably do something like that.
Oh yeah, they probably will. They probably have something. It could have ended right at the beginning, type of thing. You know, that was interesting. Earlier on, you know, I think this is one thing that I was super impressed by, because as we talked about that scene with Shuri, you know, trying to figure out, you know, the different layers of the Mind Stone that Vision had.
Right.
I love it how they just kept the action coming over and over and over again, to where you didn't really have a lot of time to breathe and think. You know what I'm saying? Just because they're like, okay, we got a good break here. You know, we're out here. Everybody's hanging out. We're all hiding out in Wakanda. They can't come and get us. Shuri's going to take care of this. We're going to destroy the stone. Life will be good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but no, by the way, you know, the border guards are sounding like, there's something coming in. You know what I'm saying? One guy we didn't see, what's his name? Daniel Kaluuya's character.
Yeah. He probably
They put him in Wakanda
evacuated.
jail.
Man, maybe so.
I mean, his love was
probably
Okoye.
banished him.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
What's the deal? But we saw my boy M'Baku. We saw him show up, and him and the Jabari tribe showed up. You know, it was like, say ha, hoo, hoo, say ha, hoo, hoo. You know what I'm saying? They were there. They were ready. You know, but I loved it how the action just kept coming over and over and over again.
Right.
You know, I thought, and you know, in that moment we just talked about when Peter Quill, you know, went in to try to like knock Thanos out as they're trying to rip the glove off his hand, and it woke Thanos up back out of his sleep. I was impressed with Drax, because Drax didn't do what he had been planning on doing. I thought Drax would be the first one to die in that whole situation. I thought he would have been the first one to die, and he sort of held back, you know, in that situation when, you know, this whole time he's been wanting vengeance for his family. And I thought Drax was funny again. I thought they wrote his character pretty well.
And he was trying to be still, saying he's invisible.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm invisible. You cannot see. My movements are so subtle that you can't even tell. They're like, no, we totally see that you're eating a snack. He's like, no, you can't. It was great.
Yeah.
And his relationship between him and Mantis, like he said something else about her that was like a compliment, but it was like a really terrible backhanded compliment, which is hilarious. And okay, so they're trying to get the glove off Thanos. Peter Quill starts to punch him. Thanos comes out of his sleep state and basically like waves his hands. It was funny because he turned Drax into a set of blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like into like a set of like, it looked like a bunch of clay, like Play-Doh blocks that Drax became and fell down.
That was at the when they were in the collectors.
Was that was the same spot though, right? Or that was a different? Oh, that was a different spot.
That was different. That
was earlier. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I thought that was cool because, you know, that was the first time that we had seen what he could do with like altering reality to that state. Because he didn't kill Drax. He didn't kill Drax when he turned him into the set of blocks, and he didn't kill Mantis because in the same moment he turned Mantis into a bunch of like, you know, swirly ribbons, you know, and she fell to the ground. Didn't kill him. It just sort of altered the reality of what you see and what they could do. And that's another direct call out to that Infinity Gauntlet, because Thanos turned his brother, Eros, I think his name is, into the set of blocks just like that. And he turned Nebula into that little squiggly, squirrely, twirly ribbon thing. So I was like, man, the freaking writing and the callbacks, Easter eggs were so amazing. But yeah, so that was a whole different scene. But yeah, I was impressed that, you know, at the way it all went down. And then, you know, during this whole thing, you know, we see Thor headed off with Rocket to meet Peter Dinklage, you know, to try to make this weapon that's like a god killer, and you know, and eventually does make the weapon, which I think they called that weapon that Thor's new like axe hammer. I think it was called like the Thunderbringer or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot what it was called. But it looked pretty cool, and I thought how the end, whenever Thor tried to keep that gate open for the I guess star light or star beam to shoot through to be able to melt the metal. And then of course he got blasted off and he was about to die. I liked how Groot, I guess teenage Groot, finally figured out there's something more important than video games. And he used his arm to create a handle, because they were trying to scramble around for a handle to complete the axe hammer. And so he used his vines from his arm to blend around and weave around the metal, and then he chopped it off. So that was good. And then bam, all of a sudden they just beamed straight to Earth, straight to Wakanda at that.
As you see, and that was cool, because you know, we saw Wakanda, we saw what the force field could do, you know, in that moment. Cutting up all those bad guys that sort of look like a combo between Venom and the Chitauri that invaded from the first Avengers. You know, we saw what their force field could do, you know, withholding and withstanding the pressure of all of that. We saw one of those ships that were floating down that you know, looked like little mini pyramids that were floating down, full of Thanos' kids and family and all the bad boys. We saw it like blow up, you know, the first one blow up as it hit the top of the you know, of Wakanda. We saw everything to do, but then we saw Cap, Black Panther, you know, all those people, you know, start to get overwhelmed. Hulk, who was in the Hulk Buster, which was hilarious. All them get overwhelmed, and then like you said, Thor showed up and just started wrecking shop. Just throwing that, you know, dropped some lightning on them fools, blew them up, you know, and then started throwing that Thunderbringer or whatever it's called, killing fools. Like I thought that was pretty dope right there. Like you said, they beamed straight to Earth. Man, golly, wow. This movie was just so much. Every moment of this movie was a beat in itself that caused you to stop and think about, dang, what just happened? You know what I'm saying? Every moment of this film. I don't think there were, like, do you think there were any wasted scenes? Do you think there were any wasted moments? Like, I don't even remember one.
I got to think about this one, because it doesn't initially hit me, but
is there anything you didn't like wasted?
At all? Nah, everything led right into the other thing. And it was, I guess, essential.
I think so too. It's wild, man.
I found it pretty interesting how when Iron Man and Doctor Strange and the other guy, Spider-Man, and of course a couple of the Guardians were on planet Titan, and then Doctor Strange went into this meditative state. And then he was like trying to figure out all the different outcomes, and he said out of how many was it?
It was like 14 billion outcomes or something like that.
There was only one that actually worked.
That they won.
So I'm wondering if he put it into motion, the one that could work.
That has to be it.
Because he did say something like this is was it like this is the only way or something like that. When he handed over the stone to Thanos. That's the only way. I think that is it. Like, he saw the future because, and I think this is also another direct Easter egg callback from the comics. When Adam Warlock showed up in the comics, he was like, you know, there's only one way to beat him, and that's when all of the heroes of Earth and, you know, all of these good guys come together, all these powerful beings, you know, come together to fight him. Like, that's the only way that we could do this. And that was I think that was sort of a callback from the comics as well. So I think he set it in motion. Maybe he saw the future. Maybe he saw Captain Marvel show up. Maybe he saw Warlock show up in his vision, and, you know, and that was the way. And then here's a question for part 2. Do you think we'll get any glimpses or hints of an X-Men?
Of an X-Men? You know what? To be honest, it is possible. I think that we may. I think that we will. You know,
because I'm not sure what the contract. If the contract was it Fox and the whole X-Men franchise is still going on. But you know, I kept hearing a bunch of people saying something about watch Professor X shows up. I'm like, I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know if he would show up, but he definitely could. You know, I don't know if Magneto would show up, but he definitely could as well. I think that we could, just because of the fact that they could finally do it, and I think they're going to thumb their nose at Fox and say, hey, by the way, we dropped the X-Men on these hoes. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to be Wolverine, sadly, even though he was prominent in the comic. I don't think he would. It would definitely be somebody, you know, who had some kind of power to be able to help out, either helping people on Earth, you know, sort of recover, or somebody who would jump in and help in the fight. I think it definitely could happen. Who it would be, man, I have no freaking clue, man. There's so many X-Men possibilities. You know, because people talked about Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four. I don't know, man. That would be interesting to see. But I do think in the second movie, you know, they would blow their load, as they say. I think they're going to put it all out there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to leave nothing to chance. We didn't see Ant-Man this time. We didn't see Wasp. You know, they're on the West Coast. We heard that they're under house arrest, essentially. He's under house arrest, essentially. We didn't see Hawkeye. You know, there's a few people we didn't see, you know, that we have seen in some of the other movies. So I think all them suckers going to come back.
I think so too.
And they will contribute in some way, shape, or form. Like we already know Ant-Man could shrink down to nothing, you know, and go into different dimensions.
Super big.
And he can get super big, you know. So I know he's going to come and he's going to bring it. And Wasp can do the same thing essentially. And
we may need those arrows from Hawkeye.
We'll need them for something. We will need them for something.
Because I'm pretty sure he has an arrow and he's pretty accurate enough to shoot an Infinity Stone off of the gauntlet. Yep,
indeed. That would be dope to see that, to be honest. So, yeah, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, there wasn't much that I didn't. The only things that I didn't like was when they killed my boy Black Panther, man. So let's talk about the deaths at the end. All right,
but let's go
back. You want to go back? You want to go back?
No. Let's go for it.
Okay, so at the end, you know, near the end is when Thanos, you know, basically turns something else that was trying to be shot into bubbles. As we've already seen a couple things, you know, turn into bubbles that Thanos people were trying to kill him with, like Quill's Star-Lord's gun. You know, he was trying to shoot and kill Gamora. It turned into bubbles. Gamora's knife turned into bubbles. Like everything turned into bubbles. So I think something else turned into bubbles, and Thanos basically used the Time Stone to basically turn back the hands of time after Scarlet Witch had blown up Vision and killed him. You know,
that's right.
Brought Vision back and re-killed Vision by basically putting indentions in his forehead and pulling out the Mind Stone, having all the stones. And then it was wild because Thanos snapped, and it was a thunderclap. You know what I'm saying? To me, it sounded like just what the thunder sound or lightning sounds like as soon as it hits, or maybe a bomb. I don't know. Sounds like as soon as it hits, and you don't hear nothing right after that. You know, after Captain America, you know, held his own and held his hand up for a hot second, you know, when Thanos was trying to punch him, and then Thanos just like reached back with his other hand and punched him. That hurt my heart. Then all this stuff went down. You know, Vision died. He brought Vision back, pulled the stone out. And then, you know, one of the first things you see is Black Panther grab Okoye's arm and say, "Come on, sister. This is not a place to die." And then lo and behold, Black Panther turned into dust.
He turned into dust.
And then, you know, you see a lot of other people start to turn into dust. Winter Soldier was like Steve, like Cap, fell down, turned into dust. Everybody started dying. Oh, I was so mad when they killed Black
question.
Panther, man.
Yeah, but I didn't get, for some reason, I didn't get disappointed in that.
I mean, how they gonna kill Black Panther after he just basically broke the whole world record of all movie franchises?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can't kill him off. They couldn't kill Spider-Man off. He just had a really good movie. I was honestly expecting when Tony Stark to go when he got stabbed in the stomach. Thanos got him in the stomach, so I was like, oh crap, he's about to go. So that's going to be the one that I was thinking initially.
Yeah.
Him. Let's see. Then they showed
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker, Black Panther,
Doctor Strange, Winter Soldier, Falcon.
Yeah, all these people going. I'm like, no, they can't kill
Scarlet Witch. Like all the Guardians, except for all the Guardians, except for who? Except for Groot.
Except for Groot. Yeah. Yeah, they couldn't kill it. Why would they? Yeah. So I was like, okay, so something's going to happen. And they're going to come back. They got to come back.
Nick Fury died.
They wouldn't do that to the fans.
Maria Hill died.
They would not do that to the fans.
You know, this is what I'm thinking, man. And you know what, dog? I'm going to say this, man. After like loving M'Baku so much from that last movie, I legitimately told one of my friends, I was like, I would have let them kill M'Baku if they would have saved Black Panther.
Wow.
Like to be honest, I probably like M'Baku stole the show with Black Panther. Like don't get it twisted. So I would have definitely traded M'Baku for BP in this one, but M'Baku survived. No, man. So we know that Loki is dead. We know that Heimdall and Gamora and Vision are also dead, right?
Dead.
Like gone dead, right? They ain't supposed to be coming back. But we do know that with the Time Stone, with the Soul Stone, you can basically capture anybody's soul. You can bring them back. You know what I'm saying? With that Time Stone, just rewrite time. You know what I'm saying? Rewrite history, like DuckTales would say.
Well, but then that's the thing. If you rewind that, you still got to deal with Thanos all over again.
That's true. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Adam Warlock's going to show up in this, he and Pip, they're going to both show up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who's going to play Pip. Maybe homeboy who played Claw will come back and, do a CG version of Pip. Man. I don't know. But they're going to show up. Warlock's going to basically convince Iron Man and everybody that's left, hey, I fought this dude. I almost died, but I didn't die. So I'm going to show you how to beat him. I think he's going to come back. He's going to get in touch with the Celestials, and the Guardian, or the Celestials, which we saw in Guardians 2, maybe, when Stan Lee was in it.
Yeah. Guardians 2.
Yeah.
2.
And I think he's going to convince these people, hey, this is the way to beat him. We're going to go get Galactus. We're going to go get Magneto. We're going to go get Deadpool. I'm just saying these other names. But
that would be funny.
That would be dope, right? But I think he's going to come back and say, this is how we beat him. I know how to beat him. They're going to be like, who the heck are you? Well, I'm from another galaxy, another piece of space and time. But when Ant-Man shrunk down to nothingness, I gave him a high five in another dimension. They're going to get Ant-Man to come back, and they're going to turn back the hands of time. They're going to bring these people back, and then they're all going to come together to be Earth's mightiest heroes and defeat Thanos. And this is what I think. I think, okay, initially, Black Panther died. I'm going to tell you what, man, the whole theater I was in, everybody was like, no! Peter Parker died. People were pissed. Like, I swear, I'm surprised nobody threw their popcorn at the screen or their cup at the screen, because these people were hype. When Bucky died, I heard people started crying. When Falcon died, everybody was like, all right, whatever. What was a homeboy? Not Falcon. War Machine. He survived, so he was looking for Falcon. Let's see who else. When Scarlet Witch died, they're like, okay, cool, she dead, because whatever. And when all the Guardians were dying, like everybody was sad. By Groot, Drax, Star-Lord, Mantis, like they were all sad about that. Nick Fury died. I was like, I called that in the post credit scene. Like, I think that all these people's souls, and Maria Hill too. I loved her. All these people's souls are caught up in the Soul Stone. Right. That's where I think they are. I think they're all held up right there. So Thanos has them all in the Soul Stone.
Okay, so we could, for the next movie, I guess we could already assume it's going to be roughly 2.5 hours, 2.5 to 3 hours long. Yep. So we can expect a War Machine, Captain America, Captain Marvel. Who else we got left?
Hawkeye, Shuri.
Maybe, so maybe a Hawkeye, Shuri.
Okoye's gonna be there. Rocket and Nebula.
Did Banner get?
No, he didn't die.
He didn't die. Okay, so Banner's gonna be there. Yeah, so I'm assuming Hulk is gonna come back and be even more pissed off and have his rematch with Thanos.
Yeah, because he saw some of his friends die. Yeah. Got to.
Let's see.
Iron Man.
Did Black Widows? Did she?
No, she's still there. Yeah.
Okay. Iron Man. They'll have to figure out a way to get back to Earth. And all right, let's see. So who's still with Iron Man?
Is he by himself?
Is he by himself?
Or he's with?
Who
else was there?
Because Drax was with him, but did Drax go?
Drax died. Mantis died. Star-Lord died. I mean, they disintegrated. Strange disintegrated, and Spider-Man. So all of them. So Iron Man's by himself.
So he's by himself.
This is probably when
ship.
He sees that Vision. Maybe this is when the Vision call comes back to him that says you could have, this all could have been avoided. You could have, did blah blah blah. This could have been avoided, like he saw back in Ultron. So War Machine is there. M'Baku is still there. Pepper Potts, Hawkeye.
Even though she doesn't do much of nothing.
Ant-Man, the Wasp will be there. Valkyrie. We saw the Collector, but we don't know if he's actually dead.
Actually, Valkyrie might be dead.
Yeah.
Because wasn't she on the ship with that was leaving
Well, that's what it said. We don't see her dead on the ground in that ship when Thanos takes over. We didn't see her at all. We saw Heimdall. We saw other homeboy who was trying to hand out pamphlets.
But the ship exploded, though. Nobody could have survived that.
Well, I mean, but then if we think about this, Valkyrie, remember, just like Thor, Valkyrie is one of those.
She's not a god, though.
Did she not have the blood?
No.
Wasn't she part? Or she was just like adopted?
No, she's
just something totally different.
She's just a soldier.
But the Valkyries, but she was like the greatest of all the Valkyries. So I thought they had some extra powers.
Was she the greatest? I thought she just managed to I guess evade the final death because she had fell off of her Pegasus because they thought she had died. Who's that? Thor's sister thought she had died. She was just on the ground underneath a whole bunch of bodies. So I don't know, man. I think she's dead.
I don't think she died though, G. We didn't see her there. Like, I want to go see it again and I'll look maybe this time. But we didn't see her there. Was she on the ship at the end of Ragnarok?
I think she was. Where else would she have gone though? That's the thing.
Valkyrie.
Yeah, she was on the ship, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, everybody had to be on the ship, right? If you went on the ship, you're gonna blow up with Asgard. So, dang, I don't know. Anyway, I can't remember now. So, why isn't Valkyrie? But she wasn't at all in this movie. That's the thing, though. Like, we didn't see her at all. We thought that maybe we could possibly see her. I thought maybe I'd possibly see her in that first scene.
Did they show Korg? Korg wasn't there either in the beginning of the movie.
I thought we saw that Korg did die.
Was he? He did die? Okay.
Yeah. He tried to hand out his pamphlets and his pamphlets.
I'm pretty sure there was like some little inkling of clothing or something that led to us knowing Valkyrie is I'd have to see it again too.
Yeah.
Because there are so many bodies on the floor. You can't go through everything.
This is the thing though. Yeah. This is the thing. You can't really see Korg. Even though I guess we all assume that he died, you can't see Korg, can't see Valkyrie, can't see Korg's little buddy Meek. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Speaking of, shout out to Meek Mill. He got out. I guess they let him free. But back to this. Wong, right? Wong and Ned from Doctor Strange's place. We never find out what happened to them. Wong, from Doctor Strange's place, and Ned, Spider-Man's homeboy who created the distraction. We never really find out what happened to them. So I don't know. It's my personal thought that Valkyrie's still there, in some shape or form. Maybe she got off. She's a survivor, and they didn't even make a reference to her, and she was one of the main characters of Ragnarok. Even though Korg was too, Valkyrie was more of a main character. So yeah. I think that she's
that's going to be. She got some explaining to do.
Yeah. Where were you at? Were you out getting a drink?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For real, right?
Like what happened?
She's an alcoholic.
Alcoholic. But yeah.
How she escaped the ship? Did she jump into the portal with Thanos and his crew? Mm-hmm. And just hid on his ship?
I don't know, man. I don't know. What's interesting though was Nick Fury at the end whipped out a pager. You know what I'm saying? And he's about to make that. He was paging somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? Who still uses pagers, right? In this day and age, apparently Nick Fury does, and also Captain Marvel. We saw the Captain Marvel symbol. That was dope.
Yeah.
So everybody was excited about that. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. In the next movie, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, how these people come back.
Right.
And I don't know. Like, what's your prediction for what's going to happen with all these people in the next movie?
Man, it's going to be more action. Action upon action upon action. Wow. So I'm trying to go through and see what are the next movies.
We have Ant-Man and Wasp.
Okay, yeah, we have that. We have the Captain Marvel. We have, and then another Avengers film. So it's just two more, and then we get back to Infinity War.
Oh no, we have Venom coming.
Well, but that's not in the MCU though.
It's not. Oh, it's not. But then again, when the trailers pop up, we still see, that Marvel.
Logo. They'll still show the Marvel logo in the beginning of other ones, but it's not part of the Disney MCU franchise.
I guess you're right. So we have Ant-Man and Wasp coming. Oh yeah, because it's a Sony Marvel combo. We have Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I don't know what that is.
Let's see here. Okay, so it's that one with Miles Morales, Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that's animation.
Yeah. So maybe not. Maybe we won't see that. Silver and Black. So we're not sure that that's going to tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Silver and Black has who is that in it? Has the cat? What's her name? Spider-Man's girlfriend, sort of one that he hooks up with. What is her name? Black Cat, and then also Silver Sable, right? So that's a part. It may be animated, so it may not.
Silver Sable one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's but it looks like it's going to be good. But yeah, that may not be, but that's going to be February next year. Then we have Captain Marvel coming out. Then we have Avengers 4. And then for some reason, Spider-Man 2 is slated. Official Spider-Man 2 is slated, after Avengers 4.
And it has to be.
Yeah. Then they have, let's see, 3 movies for 2020, 3 movies for 21, 3 movies for 22. So essentially, they have 9 more movies set up potentially come out. They just haven't named those movies yet. So we know we're going to get a BP2. We know Black Panther 2. We know we're going to get a Spider-Man 2. You know, I don't know who else they're going to bring out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else they're going to do. Maybe they're saving room for doing like an X-Men and Avengers combo movie down the road to fight another different kind of baddie. Maybe Doctor Doom is coming way down in the future. I don't know.
Doctor Doom.
I don't know.
I mean, is there... Well, did they get Fantastic Four?
I mean, they do get it now,
did they acquire them?
I think that's a part of the contract they got from Fox, but I think they should leave it right where it is.
Yeah, I think they should just, I mean, if they could make it 20 times better than it has been, I say go for it, but give it some time.
This is my problem with Fantastic Four, though. This is my problem. It's because the fact that they did Spider-Man, you know, marginally well, you know, and maybe not so good the first few Spider-Man, and they brought this back and it blew everybody out the water. They're like, we can do that with Fantastic Four, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Fantastic Four one day.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Wow.
Or maybe not sadly.
God.
I like the Fantastic Four. I like the
I just say, man, just try and throw all your chips at the X-Men franchise.
That would be dope.
Try and acquire that, because they could do a whole different spin-off of a universe just with the X-Men.
Yeah, and you know, even though Thanos is the biggest and baddest of all of them, there's
I'd love
still
to see a good apocalypse.
Yeah, there would still be cool to see. Yeah, to see that. Yeah, I mean, there's still so many other big and baddies, you know, that we could see. We haven't seen Doctor Doom in any of the Spider-Man, right? Nope. See, that would be cool to see him. I do not want to see Green Goblin ever again, or Doc Octopus, even though I like them as characters. I just don't want to see them on screen again.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many more people you could add in. You know, Sabretooth from the X-Men franchise.
Oh, man, yeah.
You know, there's so many more people you could add in. So I don't know, man. The future is bright and wide open, and I think it's cool that they have already shot completed production on the second film, the second half of this.
Yeah.
Because I think that if they could potentially go back and do some reshoots or some additions based on the reactions to this film. You know, and add in and change it and do whatever. So I don't know, man. I don't know. What if they go and they get that time stone back and the soul stone back, and they turn back the hands of time and bring back Logan, and Logan's fighting alongside X-23.
Wow, a grown-up X-23.
That would be cool.
That would be.
Who would be a good X-23 as a grown-up? I don't know.
A grown-up X-23. Let's
She'd have to have.
see.
She'd have to be a brunette, or at least her hair would have to be dyed brunette, pass for brunette. Somebody with some fighting chops.
Yep. Gotta be, I guess, a Latina. Interesting. Who could be a good X-23?
Salma Hayek? No, she ain't Latina.
She too. She a little bit of age.
Yeah, she's a little too old, right?
A little too old.
I don't know. I can't even think off top. I'm just like saying words. I can't even think.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, man. Were you happy to see any of those guys die? Like, were you like, we're like, all right, I'm tired of seeing them on screen.
Happy to see somebody die?
Maybe not happy, but you know, like you knew it was going to happen, and you were
I didn't really care either way for Loki dying the way he did. You know,
same here.
Didn't really mind that. Let's see, who else? I was kind of bummed to see Gamora die.
Yeah. Can't see them green curves no more.
Yeah. Trying to not to talk too much.
Yeah.
Or give too many spoilers away, because my wife is sitting right here.
Oh, she hadn't seen it yet, huh?
She hadn't seen it, but now she's spoiled.
Yep, spoiled. Sorry, cuz.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
So, where does this rank among all the MCU movies, the Avenger movie? Where's this rank for you?
Well, even though it's just a part one,
just saw Black Panther, which was the dopest of all.
Well, yeah, I mean, Black Panther's up there. It's still tough for me. It's like Black Panther and not Civil War, Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Yeah. So Black Panther and Winter Soldier up there. I did enjoy Thor Ragnarok, even though, that was like really funny. It was like more comedic. Yeah, I mean, I did love Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
Ooh, yes.
I mean, the second one was cool too, but the first one I thought was great.
Yeah.
This one has to be top 5.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's just hard for me to say because we still didn't see part 2.
Yeah. So
I want to see them together as a whole, beginning to end.
So this one is the top 5 for you, but you can't give it a number yet, I guess.
I can't give it a number yet.
That's cool.
Yeah, I just need to see them both as a whole. Then I could just place it in whatever number I want to.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I mean, for me, definitely in my top 5, I have Black Panther up there. I have Civil War up there. I have that first Guardians up there. I did love Ragnarok too. That was a funny movie. And I thought it was refreshing. It actually made me like Thor on its own again. So I love Ragnarok because I thought the first 2 Thors were trash, to be honest. But I mean, dang, dog, I gotta say, overall, I mean, I love the first Avengers too. Really, I did. But overall, for the emotions that this movie put me through. And how much I connected to a lot of this film, it has to be number 1 because it effectively put together all these characters, made each of their storylines matter. We already knew their storylines matter from their own films or from other versions of the Avengers, but this is when everybody's storyline actually mattered. I don't think there was a throwaway character in this whole film. The one that didn't get much run was M'Baku, but he did have his moment when he's like, "I'm here for you, brother." You know what I'm saying? And he had his whole like the power of the Jabari tribe. Put his hand up in the air, was like smashing fool. Like I think every character had a place. Every character's place in this movie was fulfilled. Even Heimdall, in the 2 minutes that he was on screen, he had a full story arc. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right.
For me personally, I got to put this as the top so far.
Yeah, I can see that.
Even though you wouldn't have this one without all the other ones before it, but it's got to be the top. So, how many mics? How many mics, man? We give the hashtag blackout. How many mics? 1 to 5. 1 being not good at all, terrible, never see it. 5 being, the dopest. Can't wait for the next one.
I'm giving it a 4.75.
Ooh.
I'm giving it the extra 0.25 whenever the second part comes out.
That's gonna be a whole separate movie, though. I know you wanted it to be one movie, but it's really gonna be a separate movie.
But the thing is, there was actually it felt like no ending to this one though, like not a full ending.
Well,
a complete ending. It just stopped. At
the end, Thanos just sat there. He watched the sunrise, just like he said. And I'm gonna say this, and I respect your decision, by the way. I respect your rating, but at the end, when Thanos sat there in his little hut or whatever the heck he was sitting in and watched the sunrise and was resting, that was akin to, I heard somebody saying this on the way out of the theater. This girl was talking to her dad, and she was like, at the end, Thanos was just like resting. It's like, that's just like when they say in Genesis, in the Bible, that God rested on the 7th day after he created Earth. So when Thanos created his reality, his new reality for the galaxy, that's when he sat and rested. So I thought that was a pretty good callback. Pretty good.
See, initially, I thought that was like, hey, he's in Wakanda right now. Just like when Bucky woke up at the end of the Black Panther, and he woke up in a hut, and then he walked right out.
That's funny. That's funny too, because yeah, you're right. That's just like him walking out. That's another Easter egg too. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't really know, what it really ties to, but I just thought that was interesting when that little girl said that, because I was like, oh, that makes sense. But yeah, man, I gotta say, okay,
that is pretty interesting, because there were 6 Infinity Stones,
6 days,
and then the 7th day he rested.
There you go. He did say that he was a god. They said that the weapon that they had references to God. They had a lot of references to God. Like the weapon that Thor used was supposed to be like a god killer type of thing. Or weapons of the gods or something like that. So yeah, man. My rating, I give it a 5. But then I could also detract. Oh, dang. I could also detract. I don't know how many billion dollars did Black Panther make? Like 5 billion or something stupid like that.
Worldwide?
Yeah. I can't remember. I could detract that many billion stars because they killed my boy Black Panther so fast.
Yeah.
But I already know that. I already believe he's going to come back, and I already know there's a Black Panther 2 coming back. So I'll just keep him at 5.
It has to be.
I'll keep him at 5 mics just because it brought me and the rest of the theater through every emotion. Everybody walked out the theater like totally apoplectic, like didn't know what to do. I mean, there was people who was talking about calling in to work for the next day. Like they were such in shock. Like I went home, I couldn't go to bed right away.
Right.
Like just for the fact that it took me on that roller coaster ride and kept me on the edge of the cliff, dog. It's got to be a 5. And I wanted number 2 to start right there at the end.
Yeah.
I wanted to start again.
All right. So Black Panther, as of March 18th, made $1.18 billion.
Yeah. So
worldwide.
That's how many stars I could take, or that's how many mics I could take away from this. But I'm gonna leave him at 5. Other Jared would take those away and give it a 0, but this movie was too dope to not rate highly.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So that was pretty much our spoiler review.
Super spoilers.
I mean, super.
And
spoilers.
It was all over the place
all
because
over the place.
Nothing was. Yeah.
Just like this movie.
Wow.
Bounced around all over the place and made sense everywhere. So, if you guys have, know what this time of the show is, it's when Jay cues the music and we tell you to tap your love box. And, if you saw Avengers Infinity War and it left you not knowing what to do with your life, you changed all your plans, you and your date were about to go back and make sweet, sweet love, and then you're both too sad and distressed and distraught to do that, tap your love box.
End up going to the park and sitting on a bench staring at the ducks swimming.
Trying to figure out what the meaning of life was.
Yep. Trying to figure out what the meaning of life was. Wow. Wow. I'm still trying to digest everything we just talked about. If you felt this movie could have ended sooner, just with all the things, all the powers that everybody had, they knew what they could have done. Like Doctor Strange chopping off an arm. Tap your love box.
Right. If you were not shocked to see Red Skull, tap your love box.
I was very shocked.
I was shocked too.
Extremely shocked.
He didn't die. They beamed him up at the end of Captain America. They beamed him up out of whatever that big huge monstrosity of a bomber ship was. They beamed him up in outer space.
But where did he go now? Where is he now? Is he still on the planet? Was he just the guard? Was he just the guardian of the Soul Stone?
I don't know, man.
Or did he have another purpose?
That's an interesting thing. Maybe that freed his soul, and he's, you know, off to the Red Skull Neverland, you know, afterlife. I don't know. Or maybe he's still there just chilling, like, dang dog, I ain't got no food. You ain't even pay me nothing.
Is he still a supreme Nazi?
I wonder.
Why didn't
he probably.
Why didn't he have any words for a dark-skinned Thanos
and a green-skinned Gamora?
Yeah, right.
You know, even though that would be, you know, pretty. What is it? Ironic, seeing the fact that he's red-skinned, but I mean, hey, it's whatever. Maybe his payment for giving up the Soul Stone was to eat Gamora. Tap your love box if you think Red Skull ate Gamora.
How did he eat it?
I don't even know.
Oh, man. Red Skull. Man. All right. Well,
let's see here. Tap your love box if you thought the joke about Squidward was hilarious in the movie.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
Yeah. The Ebony Maw Squidward. Tap your love box if you put a bag over Proxima Midnight head and she can get it.
Bam, tap it. You got to too.
Yes, it's been tapped. Tap your love box if you think if Kung Fu Panda had the Infinity Gauntlet on, he'd be able to beat Thanos also with an Infinity Gauntlet.
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, that's why not.
Kung Fu Panda. Why not? Why not bring it up?
Just bring in Shrek.
Yeah, let's just do a whole DreamWorks Marvel MCU crossover. Yeah. Could bring in the guys from How to Train Your Dragon. Call it How to Train Your Thanos.
Man, I'm telling you, dog. You know, tap your love box if after watching Infinity War you went to the bar and drunk yourself into a stupor until you passed out because you were so distraught.
Tap your love box if you were in the theater and after the movie ended, nobody had a reaction. Everybody just sat up slowly and walked out.
Was that you?
Just like my theater.
What?
Nobody said anything. It was just quiet.
Everybody must have been hungry.
Walking down,
like there has to be issues.
Walking down the stairs, walking out the theater. Yeah, I went to the restroom. Nobody was talking.
Yeah. Tap your love box if you could name a father that's worse than Thanos in the MCU. Okay.
Besides Ego.
Stark's dead. What's his name?
Ego, the living planet.
Yeah. You got what's the guy from Asgard? Odin.
Thor's dad. Odin.
Yeah, Odin committed genocide. You know.
Yeah.
Basically, Tony Stark's dad did a whole lot of things that led to the bad events that we saw there.
Yeah.
You know, Ego basically killed all of his kids and his wife, ate them because he's a living planet. Yeah. Tap your little box if you think Yondu's the father of the year. Still,
I think so. Yondu is the father of the year. And I think that's what we should call this episode.
Yondu's the father of the year.
Yondu's the father of the year.
Tap your love box if you think Thanos was better than Steppenwolf from Justice League.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You know the DC gets very little love from me.
Man, I'm telling you. Do you think that Thanos would be able to beat Darth Vader?
Come on, man. Well, I mean, if he had the gauntlet,
he would have
with the
chance.
stones. Yeah, he'd have a chance.
Yeah.
But Darth Vader. What about Yoda though?
Full power Yoda.
Yoda's pretty powerful. And he's pretty fast. He could use his lightsaber to chop off that arm.
Yeah, that's true. Dang, I don't know, man. man. That'd be dope to see Mace Windu show up too. You know,
dude. You know, Yondu could have probably taken Thanos out too.
Think so?
With this little whistling dart.
Oh yes, that's true. Because he'd go for the head. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Or the heart. Or the chest.
Would not shy away. Well, you know, when Thor went for the chest, you know, that's when Thanos was like, you should have went for the head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, gotta remember that. Wow. So, I don't know, man.
Check your love box if you think Jared should sell me his 67 Malibu.
Never. Sorry, dog. Your brother.
Notice I said the keyword sell. He's not doing nothing with it, people.
Well, this is...
Just sell it. Just keep it in the family.
This is the problem.
Still family oriented.
That's true. This is the problem. Okay, first of all, my dad bought me that car, so it's gonna be the hardest sell to even try to get that away from me. First of all, the second thing is this: initially, when my dad gave me the car, I could not. I didn't bring it up. I didn't bring it up to my home in Fort Worth because I don't know. My dad still had some work being done to it, etc. Then we moved out of town, and I did not have a garage for it in Utah. Like I did not, because I was living at my own house, living with in-laws. Now that I do have my own house, I do have my own garage. It's possible I could bring it back up here with me, but it needs some work to be able to actually get on the road. So there's some work that I need to do to it. But yeah, dog, I'm sorry. I love you, but no. Ain't happening right now.
Well, if you ever decide to, I'm here for you.
Yes, okay.
I'm right here.
Tap your love box if you thought it was funny that Thor kept calling Rocket a rabbit.
That was kind of silly.
Little rabbit, come on, let's go.
Tap your love box if you don't think anybody's dead. They're just possibly in the Marvel sunken place.
Ooh. What if they were in the sunken place? That would be funny. Down there with Kanye. Down there with Kanye, and you know what could have been Tristan Thompson. You know,
hey, got Kanye there, maybe even Stacey Dash.
Stacey Dash is down there. You know, Ben Carson is down there.
Ben Carson.
You know,
yeah.
I don't know.
Probably even have Rachel Dolezal down there too.
She probably down there. Rachel Dolezal, her and her Shea Moisture. You know what I'm saying? Shea Moisture haircut down in the sunken place. I mean, there's a whole lot of fools down there in the sunken place. I know that. A lot of fools down there. So I don't know. Tap your little box if you know, if you can't wait for Adam Warlock to show up and help save the day as the gold semi-perfect being that he will be. Tap your little box if you think Tobey Maguire is somewhere pissed off and happy at the same time that Spider-Man was so dope and also died in this film.
Yeah, same thing goes for Andrew Garfield.
Yes, and Garfield. Andrew Garfield's just crying just because. That's just his emo Spider-Man.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
Tap your love box if you put your arms in the X across your heart when they said Wakanda forever.
In a tear shed.
In a little tear shed. I felt like that.
You felt like doing it?
Anyway.
Poor guy.
Alright, that it?
I think that's it.
Okay, before we get out of here, let me just tell you this. Okay, let me say this. If anybody out there plays PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, PUBG, right? I love that game. I hate that game. It's awesome. It sucks. It's glitchy. It's smooth. It's everything and nothing. Is anybody else out there mad? I play on Xbox, by the way, not on PC. Is anybody else out there mad that Miramar, the new map, the second map for Xbox, was supposed to launch this week on a test server? 19 minutes in to the launch time frame, they shut down all the test servers and you were not allowed to get on the map because they had lagging issues and other glitches. And they basically had to shut it down for like the whole first day and a half. Is anybody else pissed? Because essentially that was going to be my first opportunity to play it, and I wasn't really going to be able to play it again until the weekend, which is today. So I'm going to try to play it tonight.
Nice.
Anybody else out there mad? If you play PUBG, holla at me. SoulGlow23 on Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Got Lbow Macaroni over there with Jay on Xbox. And even though he ain't got PUBG yet, I may just have to send it to him for his birthday so he can finally start playing with me. His birthday's coming up. If y'all want to send Jay a birthday present, it's coming up in May.
Send me something.
Coming up in May. Anyway, okay, I just had to get that PUBG off my chest. And then also, the other thing of the week, which we never got to, everybody was mad at, what's his name? Robin Thicke? What's his name?
Paula
Patton.
Robin Thicke?
What's
Paula Patton?
What's Paula Patton's ex-husband name?
Robin
Thicke. I was thinking about his dad. So everybody was mad at Robin Thicke for supposedly cheating on Paula Patton, right? And they got into his business, was mad at him, all this stuff, piping up for her. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, I saw this week Paula Patton showed up on the red carpet with her currently married boyfriend. Okay. I mean, come on. I mean, just like Chloe and Tristan. You know, Chloe stole Tristan from his pregnant girlfriend at the time. Tristan is a D-bag. We already know that, for cheating on Chloe, who was also pregnant. But it happened to you, just like you did it to somebody else. So who should we really be mad at? Leave that in the comments.
I don't know, but wasn't so many factors.
Leave that in the comments. There are so many.
Are they in the process of getting a divorce? They've been separated for quite a while.
They have, but
would that make a difference?
But they may have, but he's still currently married. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Who knows when they started their relationship? I don't know. We don't know. But I'm just saying, you know, it seems that the shoe is on the other foot. And now everybody's in love with her. I still love Paula Patton, by the way. She's still beautiful. But
me too.
You know, that being said, you know,
that being said,
same thing. Anyway, for me, cereal without marshmallows still needs marshmallows. Between Good Times, Welcome Back, Kotter, The Jeffersons, and Different Strokes, I'm keeping Different Strokes' theme song. And Jay, you say your piece, and let's black up out of here.
I don't know which one I'd keep because I like all of them.
They're all great.
Just as good. All right. Anyway, people, I still think Thanos could have got a whole bunch of like intergalactic ass, but
he messed up.
Yeah, he messed up. He want to kill everything. And I don't know why, but let me keep my mouth shut. I
think Wendy should drop a diss tape on Thanos.
I think Thanos should drop a whole mixtape, diss tape to the whole universe. Because that's exactly how you feel. He's dropping bombs on everybody.
With no features.
No features, just him by himself. Maybe he'll have like a Rick Ross voice.
Oh. Man, I got the lemon pepper chicken wings from all over the galaxy.
Man, 27 Savage, like Head of Cabbage. Out now. I mean, out soon.
All right. Twitter, Instagram, # Blackout Pod, Snapchat, # Bop. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spreaker. Yeah, find us there. Emails topic, #blackoutpod@gmail.com. Send us a voicemail. Send us your voice. Send us your thoughts on this episode. On whatever you want to send us. Tell us about your day. Tell us something that pissed you off about this movie. Tell us something that made you happy. Yeah. 3853-BLAKPC is 385325-2572. And if you're a gamer like Jared is and you're going to play some PUBG tonight, hit up that bossboxes.store.
Double B.
Get yourself a boss box. The blackout boss box. We'll just call it
Boss Fam for life.
Boss box.
That's right.
Yeah. Hit that code blackout10 at checkout. Get yourself 10% discount. You get all kind of goodies in that box. Get yourself some skins for your controller. Some snacks.
You say hit the skins?
All night.
You say hit the skins?
Yeah. Yep. Hit the skins. Hit the skins in that box. There you go. All goes together. Hitting boxes and getting skins and tapping love boxes. All of it flows together. Yeah. And that's it. We'll talk to you guys next week, I guess. Yep. With some more craziness. Some more blacking out. Some more, probably even giving you some more thoughts on this Infinity War, because we may end up seeing it again.
Yes, I definitely will see it again. My family didn't see
kids.
it. So yeah, exactly the same thing. Got to take the wife and kids sometime this week. So, yeah, shout out to Hooks, Rubs, and Spices, our sponsor, first sponsor, still sponsor, and also the podcast that is they sponsor as well. Random Ramblings with Rob, who I know probably tried to call us this morning, and then also, but he didn't. But then also the Whatever Man podcast. Shout out to those fellas. And yeah, man, I'm blacking out. I'm blacking out
too. Man. Oh yeah, Luke Cage season 2, June 22nd.
Yo.
Ant-Man the Wasp, July 6th.
All kinds of goodness coming. Okay, people.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2, 3.